my name is Jason and I specialise in open safes and vaults. I'm based in the UK in Essex, which is just outside London if you head out north east. I've been opening safes for 27 years and I've been making tools for the same amount of time. Mostly I see key operated safe locks. I do open other locks, digital locks, mechanical locks, high security vault locks. So I am an all-rounder, but I specialise in opening key locks. So I make tools and that sort of thing. My interest in locks started at a young age, where I could pick locks open from about the age of 8. I used to get my parents to lock me up in handcuffs, and I used to buy trunks, give me lock up in trunks, wrap chains around it, lock me up in handcuffs and trunks, you know, something that you'd probably get child services phoned up today for, and I used to escape out of them. So I've always been interested in locks and escapology and the mechanisms. That's the interesting thing about making lockpicks, because it's the machine inside which interests me, and the defeat, because locks are puzzles. So I hope you enjoy my videos, and give me some feedback, what you want to see, any questions. Yeah, go for it. Well, if you've never seen the inside of an SLS Multi Stump lock, this is what you're looking at. So we've got multiple stumps, and you've got the control lever doesn't have any serrations on the edge, which in this is the one in the bottom. So that lever there. This lever has got anti-pick serrations, so all the other levers have these anti-pick serrations in them. Okay. So the control lever post doesn't have any V-shaped anti-picks. But basically what's going on in there is, when you put tension on in the lock, for example, this lever is touching that post and being dug in. So when you try and move it, it's got no movement. It's not binding. So by pushing on it and releasing your tension a bit, what happens is it skirts up to the next one. Do the same, and you end up walking the lever like this until it goes into gate. That's basically the way you pick the SLS lock. So the SLS Multi Stump, the safes are quite formidable. They're very well made, and they can be hard to put a hole in. It's probably one of the safes which you can struggle to put a hole in, especially if it's high grade. I remember drilling one where it was very, very difficult to even dimple the hardened plate or the Siamese steel that was inside it to drill for a fired relocker. But yeah, if it's a lost key, then picking it is definitely the way to go. So this is the SLS Multi Stump. So it's quite a common lock in England, United Kingdom. Sometimes they're shipped to Europe. Really nice safes, and actually they can be really difficult to drill. We have a real hard plate in an SLS safe. This is the SLS Multi Stump. So it has multiple stumps, 7 lever generally. There were a couple of 9 levers fitted to vaults, but 7 lever is the standard. A couple of different generations, but the pick does the same thing. Opens both of them. 9 lever, you would need basically a thinner leg and different spacings. So it's just a 2-in-1. This one's got a clicker device on it. Yeah, I've had this pick for about 20 years. This is cut and shut. Someone gave me a 2-in-1 pick, and I cut it, made this assembly for it, and that's when I started making tools. So a couple of things to point out is the multi stumps. So 7 levers. 1 lever is a control lever, so that has no anti-picks on it, and that's the first lever to move. The other 6 levers, the stumps are of different lengths, the same as the levers. You can have shorter lever and longer lever. So when you start picking, it can be difficult to drop levers, simply because there's long and short. So it actually makes it quite a nice lock to pick. The other thing is the shape of the post and the levers. They've got a V serration. So you imagine if you've got a lever which is in false gates, it's bound like this. These segments are V-shaped, so when you push against that lever with your lever leg, it actually tries to push the bolt out. So that's a nice control feature of picking. So I'm just going to go straight into picking this, and you can see what I'm on about. So tension. Okay, the first lever was control lever, and you see that this moved. I'll just show you that again. You look how far this moves. Okay, that's the control lever. It's going to go through and look for some other levers that are binding. That one's binding. And I'm going to push the lever leg against it and just let this be pushed around. So as I push that lever, the interaction with the post, it's going to try and push this around. A bit like picking a mushroom pin on the pin tumbler. So as we push, you might need to just encourage this a bit, but it gives you a very good indication. Okay, let's just go back through. So control lever, 2, 3, 4, push that one, 4. You see this is actually moved quite a bit further now. Just check that control lever. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's gone even deeper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See that again? 7. Opened. So it's not an overly complicated lock to pick. So it's well worth learning, especially if this is on high security safes. It's a really good first lock to pick open, just simply because of the feedback you get from it. Okay, this is a different SLS Multi Stump. This is a slightly different generation. It hasn't got the pits on the front like the other types. So you see the difference. This one's got the pits on the front of it. Okay, and then you get ones without pits on them. So here's one without pits. That's what this one is. This is slightly different generation again because these corners are round. The ones on here are square. I don't think it really makes a lot of difference, but there can be a little bit difference in the spacing. But you just simply loosen the screw off in the pick to adjust it. So this is the red handle picks that I make. So this has a clicker indexing, numbers on it. Okay. And this one is a quantum tip. So the tip is made out of hard tool steel. And the process is turns in black basically. You don't really have to have the bolt for a black, but the most important thing is the lever leg. But usually these are made out of stainless steel, but these quantum picks are made out of silver, like a hardened silver steel. So they seem to be stronger. Just because some people like to hang off the pick, we use it like a crowbar. But basically, you don't have to put a lot of tension when picking, you've only got to put a constant tension. So I'm just going to show you picking this open. So SLS Multi Stump again. Place the pick in the lock, apply tension, control lever is the one in the bottom. Now I'm just going to go through each lever, move a bound lever. So that second one is binding, loose, 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 binding, loose now, loose, loose. Back to the beginning. It's got movement, the control lever. Second lever up is a bit solid, so I'm going to try and move that. So you might drop other levers. It doesn't really matter at this point, you're just moving binding levers. There's an order, and they will just park when they're ready to park. So you'll notice at some point this handle's going to turn a bit further, which means we're moving deeper into the lever pack because we've got long short levers. So picking is really just about control, and it's navigating these anti-picks. There's nothing really mystical about it. It's the same if you pick a Lishi, like pick car lock with a Lishi pick. You find a binding lever or the lever that's solid, and just move it. So it's just how you move that lever. So in this lock, you've got a binding lever. You're just relaxing your tension, pushing the lever with that. With Lishi, you do the same thing. You release your tension a little bit, and just move that lever or disc or wafer, whatever the terminology is these days. So I only work on safes and volts, so I'm no good with the terminology of car locks. This one's a little bit tricky. You just keep working the binding lever. So sometimes these fly open, sometimes they give you a little bit of a run for your money, which is good because otherwise it'd be boring if they flew open all the time. That's moved now. A bit further around, so it means we're getting deeper into the lever pack. There you go, and it's open. It's as simple as that.